Hi, welcome guys. This is the continuation of the upload image class we had last time. So in order to complete what we started, we have to display on Postman the links to the said pictures that we uploaded into our database. Right now what we are getting is just the image name, but we want to include the links to the several sizes, and that's what we'll be working on in this class. So if you go to our document I sent, you see right after the enabling queue we have a class. So we have a function that we can add to our model class. In our case, it will be our property model class. So we'll take this code right here, or I'll take two of them and we'll explain as we go. I'll go to our model property class and put this here. Now you see this function, Now let me use the get image path function. But let me explain this for a start. So what this does is simply what the name says. We are going to get the path to the image that we uploaded to in our system. So example, we'll be looking for like a simple HTTP route or HTTPS route to our image in the system. So what the storage disk does is simply goes into the specified disk, and in this place and in this disk, remember we stored our disk as public, so it goes to the sites. It goes to the file systems or PHP. Then when it goes to, let's see this again, when it goes to the /public, it then goes into the uploads folders, then the products, but in our case it will be properties like we have it here. Just take a look. App, public, and then uploads. Our properties right here. This is where it will be looking into. So properties. Then our size here is either large, original, or thumbnail. Then the image name. Then we have the get images attributes. This is a built-in Laravel way of naming a function, in the sense that when we want to call this function, we don't need to specify the get and the attributes when we try to call it. We'll see that in a few seconds. Now just let's explain this. So it simply returns here in an array, or when we return it, it will be in JSON format, but it returns the sizes thumbnail with this get image path of size thumbnail that we passed into this function, and does it for the original and large. Now we can go ahead and add this in our controller. So let's go to our property controller, HTTP controllers, then property controller. So we can actually add this here. Let's add this in our get all controllers first. Let's do it in our get property. Then we can read a particular property. So we have here, we can add in our JSON response, we can add let's add it in an array. I'll say here property. Put this in quotes. I'll say property images. Now let's put the images here. Let's put the images here and say property dash images. We can save this. Now we can simply paste this by getting a property that has uploaded images. Now I can simply take this, the last property I created. So let's see, take the ID of, there is the ID of 2. Okay, now let's see, get property of 2. Okay, I have to log in. Class error storage not found. Okay, we have an error in our properties.php. You can see, you see the rotate here. So this means we have to import this storage. So let's go ahead and import it up here. The net support facade storage. Now let's save and let's try that again. Okay. Now right here we can see our image link. Sorry. Let's see. Now these are the sizes, all of them accessible in our project. Now you might wonder where this name is coming from. The name is coming from, see here, our environment. I specified the app URL as this, so that is where this particular URL is coming from. Then it looks into the storage and uploads and properties. Now if we want to see this in our browser, we can actually see it. So let's copy this out. But of course we will not be able to run it like this because there is no domain called, there is no recognizable domain called property.test. So how will we do it? Let's see. Let us restart our server and say PHP artisan serve. So we'll take this instead. Now replace it with this. And you load. And voila, our images can be reached no matter the size. Let's change the size to original and another size to thumbnail. You can see they are all accessible and working just fine. So that is how we complete the viewing of images. That is how we complete the viewing of images. Now let's go to a problem we will face, especially when we are deleting users. Now Now we'll have a problem arising when we try to delete a property. That problem is the images will still be in the system if we delete it with this function now we have here. With this function we have here, it doesn't cater for getting the images and deleting them. So we can do that by, let me get the function for that. Now go to our documents, copy the last code. Of course I'll explain it. Alright, first we have to import this here. Now let us talk about this solution. Now we use a for each loop here to loop through the different sizes of our images that we uploaded, which is these three, and then call an if statement saying if this, just simply saying if this image exists, delete this image. So that is simply what this code does. It's a very simple thing. It loops through this value, and on the first go, thumbnail will be size. This is basically how for each works. On the first go, thumbnail will be in the variable size, and therefore uploads, products, then size. Let's correct some spellings here. It shouldn't be products, it should be properties. Then variable name should actually be property and not product. Okay, now that I have that sorted, now we see, and we can simply test this now. Now let's go, it deletes the associated images before it deletes the product itself, and returns a successful delete message. Now let us try this. Let's keep an eye out on where's our storage. Okay, so we're looking out for this. Right now we have three. We have three in them that have images. Now what I want to do is delete one. So instead of two images, we'll be seeing only one left. Now let's go back to our postman and run the delete for the image of ID2, for the product of ID, property of ID2. Sorry. So delete property, deleting number 2. Select unauthenticated. Let's simply grab, where is that guy? Just grab it here. Nothing already. Delete. Paste that here. Of course, there is an easier way to handle this bearer token, but I'll get to that advanced topic later. It's mainly a postman configuration, but we'll talk about it later. So for now, we'll do it manually. Now let's run our delete again. This is not possible that it has expired. Let's see. Property deleted successfully. Now going back here to our property. It actually works. We see our product has been deleted from the DB, remaining one. Now let us find the product, the property with this. I'm guessing that is property 2. I'm guessing that is property 1. So let's try and delete property 1 as well. Now see the storage is empty now. So our delete works. It also deletes the images in the database, which is good for saving space instead of keeping images that are no longer useful in the system. Alright, this will be all. And thank you. See you guys in the next class.